Sam, now you're raising a very interesting point because your background is in public health. So
Mm.
the fact that the risk of dying from chronic disease, for example, or as they call non-communicable disease, is so much greater than dying from COVID. Yet, for some reason, COVID is getting a lot more attention,
Hmm.
right? So how do you feel with your background? Um, what we can do about that? Why is COVID getting that much more attention? And chronic disease, and paradoxically, chronic disease makes COVID symptoms, the progression of the disease, also worse, which is kind of ironic in a way.
Hmm. Paradoxically so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one that's the basic question, huh? And then we come back, I think, to the geopolitical forces at play now. You know,
Mm,
the pharma industry. What I know from Europe, I don't know about all the other continents in the world, but Europe paid a huge amount of money to the pharma industry um, in the summer of 2020 to help speed up the process of developing vaccines. So there is a huge intertwine between the money spent from the EU towards the pharma industry. Pharma industry had to deliver. Vaccines are coming. The CEO of Pfizer 2 weeks ago announced himself that we're going for a third vaccine round based on a new mutant gene. So they are already preparing all the world leaders. We are going to develop a new vaccine. So be ready for the next one. So the geopolitical influence is so huge, and the pharmaceutical lobby is so huge, and governments are in total fear. So they think vaccines will be the solution, which they will never be. So we are stuck in a kind of totally fear-based paradigm, and that's the reason why we focus so much on this. People also start looking through a very small angle if they have fear. If people have anxieties, depressions, or have fear, they tend to forget to look in a contextual manner. They lose helicopter view and basically end up just looking at the exit. And the exit that is proposed is the vaccine, but it will never solve the problem. It's the same thing with the green pass or vaccination passport they want to imply here in the EU. There is no biomedical justification to have a vaccine passport. Biomedically, there is no justification. First of all, let's say you're the one who is being vaccinated in January. I received my vaccine in April. We know that the antibodies based upon a vaccine decline in between 4 and 6 months' time. We both go to a festival in August. We both have a vaccine passport.
mm,
Your antibodies will probably be totally diminished by then, and I
right.
will still have some. So what's the use? How will you get in? How you will control this? Yeah.
Right.
First point. Second point. Vaccines don't help fight the fact that you can transmit the disease to another. So this means if you're stuffed on a plane with 180 people and you're all wearing face masks or not, or all vaccinated and all passports, and one of them has some symptoms, he can still spread it amongst everyone on the plane. So why a vaccine passport?
Mm,
There is no biomedical reason to impose a vaccine passport because it's useless. There are so many variables that you can't control. The vaccine passport can't control the virus. It can't control the spread.
mm,
So why impose this? Is
mm,
our feeling, and it's mostly also my personal feeling, but a lot of colleagues share the same feeling, is that we are going towards a more totalitarian regime in which the vaccine passport, or which is called green pass now, because the EU sensed amongst the population that vaccine passport was a nasty word, so they changed the name to green pass. Probably that it won't stop there. Every time as a society, when you give the opportunity to the government to impose stricter measures, that's a part of freedom you lose. And history learns us every time as a society that we give the opportunity to the governments to impose new measures, they will never be retracted. No, they are being used to build upon. So
Hmm.
this green pass won't stop there. The next thing is that your socioeconomic status will be coupled with your green pass. And then we end up like a Chinese system with social credits. Then is the societal question again, is this what we want?
Hmm. And
And that's my fear, that the COVID crisis now is being used to implement several strategies that have nothing to do with the COVID crisis.
Listen to the entire episode of the Immunity Podcast.
link in the description below.